feel like my life is mythological. That's what I feel like. Like, I feel like, okay, somehow I'm carrying on, like, the whole thing with Demeter and Persephone, and, you know, like, this mythology, which I'm seeing at this level, that's really, like, the bees are going through that journey right now, you know, like, I do see that, and that's actually one of the big fears and doubts that I've had, is that, you know, it's like, is this all just some weird ego trip? You know, am I creating? Because I know that ultimately it's all a story. It's all an illusion anyway. You know, it's a play. So, you know, am I creating this weird, like this fantastical story? And is all my ego, or is this a destiny that's been given to me? Or, you know, it's weird. That's been a hard thing for me.
You've done this, and so it's obviously a person, and it's part of who you are. So now, you know, by discovering who you are, by what you do.
When I got stung under the eye, I had been invited to go to Shankari's to do a presentation, and I didn't participate in it. And then I got a big sting under my eye, and then she called me and was saying, you know, you can't do this whole thing alone, and you can't think that you can not show up and you're not going to be missed. You know, you have important information that's important for everybody to hear, and I really have really resisted it, and so that's why I agreed to do it when we walked away. Right after I told you that's the hive that stung me. I got stung into the eye by that hive. Then I realized, oh, that's why. You better do it. Don't chicken out. You know. But interestingly, you know, there is that whole physical, the physical part of the bees, and when this experience happened, which was a shamanic initiation experience, you know, there was all this information that wasn't connected to any practical knowledge of the bees. And now so I got it all, you know, I even tried to write the story down, but I hadn't lived any of the stuff that I was being told to do, you know. So no point in writing about it. So then I had to come to Hawaii and actually do this, you know, like do the sanctuary, go through the experience of now have my bees having, you know, mites and so on, and this is the test now. Like, this is really the test. What my bees are going through in the last 6 months or so, year actually, is the test. Is what they're telling me real? You know, is it a pie in the sky thing to think that I can chant away their sickness using vibrational, you know, medicine, that I can work with them consciously and work with the new queen to provide her information on traits that she should give to her offspring?
Yeah.
Like, to do that on a conscious level. This is what I'm supposed to be doing at the sanctuary. So while all the other beekeepers have been using the various treatments, the mites, the formic acid, the fumidil, the beetle traps, the humophos, the flea killing stuff, all, you know, they're trying all this stuff and they're losing their hives. Average 60% average losses of beekeepers. Slightly higher for small beekeepers than for the big guys, because they're more systematized anyway for their medication. So, and I was told, don't treat. So I'm doing it, and you know, and now I got to I lost about half of my hives, and just now the last few months I'm starting to be able to make splits for the first time in 2 years, to increase from those queens that are showing all the traits and are healthy despite everything, you know. Those ones at the sanctuary and here. This is actually my nursery.
And you've been doing this all by yourself? Or you have people helping you?
I have a lot of people come through and want to know learn about bees and beekeeping.
But no one's contributing to your effort to try to save the bees, as far as
There's
supplying any kind of
financial,
healthy technology or financial, yeah.
financial help so I can build round hives, or
How would you build a
there's
round?
all sorts of things I would love to do.
What would you make a round hive? How do you make a round hive?
Well, I've experimented with some different things, but so far I haven't found anything that is satisfactory.
So round like this.
Yeah, that was one of the first things the bees, when I was when I would get information about their health and well-being.
Yeah, you're right.
The round hive was.
Yeah, it contributes to the frequency. Can you imagine if the queen is putting out a frequency, and what happens to that frequency when it hits a flat surface in a square box? It cancels it out.
Okay, I didn't know that, but yeah, it makes sense.
Look at our house. Our houses are the same way. We're in these square rooms, and the good frequencies escape, and the bad frequencies are trapped inside of these square rooms.
Right. So, and this is one of the things that's just recently been discovered about bees and why natural beekeepers. I mean, there is now a lot of people in the last 10 years, after kind of almost more in the last 5 years, as a response to the colony collapse crisis. There's been a real resurgence in hobby beekeeping, a lot more love in the collective consciousness towards bees. People are.
Well, they made a movie about that.
They made a movie, but
it was
I
kind
haven't
of
even
silly.
watched it because I can't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was a kids' movie, but it had a good message. I think.
don't know. Anyway, it's a totally different thing than these guys. So there's been a lot of like nationwide. There's a great organization called Bee Guardians that's been put out by some people in Boulder, Colorado, and they have backyardhive.com. So they do that top bar hive, like the one that's out there, and they have like a swarm hotline, and they have people, like 450 people in the Boulder suburbs keeping bees in their backyards.
That's great.
And he also, so it's coming into the collective consciousness also, the about the importance of surviving the genetics of the stock, the bees that have survived, like on the mainland, they survived the varroa mite, the wild feral bees, without being medicated. So
that beehive is just a beautiful thing. And now that you mentioned this round shape, I'm really excited about.
It's actually parabolic.
Is it?
Parabolic, yeah. The cones kind of go like this. But it's like this,
Uh-huh.
and this, and then it has the comb, the sheets of comb.
Well, we need to start building some round hives for sure.
Yeah.
We got to have happy bees.
Is this on?
Yeah.
It's on?
Well, sometimes the most interesting
Yeah.
interactions happen when people just don't think anything's being natural.
A lot of dead space, though, in my case.
No, I didn't see any.
Okay, so yeah, so now, here's the test. I can't really tell other people that this is the way to save the bees unless I know for sure,
Well,
unless I can demonstrate it myself, and if the mites had never gotten here, my bees would never have been put to the test. I would never have known, are these wild bees that I was told to start, creating like a sanctuary for, do they still have some quality that the other bees have lost that's allowing them to survive without being treated with medications? And it appears, yeah, at least some of them do.
Individually, the
So I
bees, or
feel
do you
like
think?
that's, it's kind of interesting to me because now, after 10 years of kind of following this unknown path, I had no idea when I was shown the sanctuary, I had no idea about the genetics of the bees. I had no idea what was going on, I just was following it, and now I'm starting to see, wow, okay, everything, so many things are coming so clear now. One in particular, one important one that I've really come to understand is the bees reflecting our thoughts, our consciousness about them. When my bees first, when I first started seeing beetles or lost my first hives to the beetles, I would have a lot of fear come up and grief, and then I'd be worrying about it, and and then they told me it is not helpful, when you worry about us, because you're creating it in your mind, when you are with us, just reflect to us what we are, and we can do it. We use the power of your consciousness to create what you think.